Hello YouTube, my name is Plazukas, and today's video is going to be on Tectone. And as you may or may not know, Tectone recently went live about 30 minutes ago entitled, I Almost Died and Quit Streaming. Can I take you back in the timeline of Tectone's legacy and pinpoint you to a YouTube video that I made about the 15 things that created stress for Tectone and basically how I said a millionaire was trying to get the sympathy of his chat. Well, we're back at that again. Now, let me just say this off the top. I struggle from anxiety. I know exactly what Tectone felt and went through during his episode that he had for a panic attack. Okay, I've been there, and I thought I was going to die as well. And I've had that happen more than once. So I'm not here to make fun or light of that situation. However, anxiety attacks do not lead to death. They could lead to quitting streaming. And he also tweeted saying that this is not clickbait. But I can assure you, it is going to be used and weaponized for that purpose. I do not think, and although this is basically in objection of what Tectone is saying publicly, he was happy with the recent streams that he had when he came back. I think he expected more views. I think his YouTube videos are not generating the amount of hype or notoriety, and he can't farm other people's content because he would be criticized for that. So therefore, he needs to create his own drama. And I'm not saying he created this panic attack. Obviously not. He had a real, legitimate panic attack. But the way he is going to word it in this particular VOD is a bit, again, and I keep on using this word, okay, disingenuous, in my opinion. This comes off as trying to get sympathy, trying to get the hype train going, probably down on subs at this point, not really been regularly streaming, not really been providing updates to his community. At some point, they're going to fall off. The last time I looked, he was like peaking at like 6,000, coming off from like a 12, 14,000 steady stream a month ago. So he's probably needs that additional income, needs that additional revenue, both YouTube and from Twitch. Not doing any sponsor stuff that I can see. So, there you go. So let's break this video down. And although I can sympathize with Tectone, I am going to question his motives here to the extent that I can. Obviously, I can't, definitively, because I have to take what he says as his narrative, his truth, which means that he did have a panic attack. He did think he was going to die, but it's been days after that, and he didn't have to word it in the way he did, and he's wording it in the way he did, and that's why I'm criticizing him for it. Okay?
Boys, I almost died.
You didn't almost die. It's an anxiety attack. You don't almost die from anxiety attacks. Okay? Yes, he's going to allude to a lot of this. Let's just get to the video. The music in the background is not coincidental. He'll get to that as well.
Stupid ass almost died. Yep. We got a long story today, man. We got a long story. For those of you guys who are saying enough.
Let's also watch this Aggie Army thing and see if it is updated live.
With the clickbait, unfortunately, it's not. Who is ready for story time with Tectone? Who is ready for story time with Tectone? Was you being silly? No. This is the first time I've ever gotten an ambulance in my entire life. Man, what a fucking experience that was. That was insane. This shit was fucking horrifying, bro. This is very emotional kurai. Did you have a heart attack fucking my mom? No, I didn't. Are you taking medicine for weight loss? No, I'm not. It's called going to the gym every day. And dieting. Also, I'm barely down any weight. I'm only at 243. 243 from 340 over the course of 2 years. To be honest, it's all right. But yeah, just had worked out shoulders yesterday. Feeling really good about them. Feeling really fucking.
This is a stream that is titled, I Almost Died and Quit Streaming. And yet, here he is trying to profile his definition, which I'll admit, pretty good. I will say though, and although you could still die if you look like that, looking pretty healthy to me. Looking pretty healthy to me. But looks can be very deceiving. Let's continue.
I'm good. But yeah, good morning, boys. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of days. It's been a rough couple of days. I ain't gonna lie. Did a hamster get stuck in your ass? No. No. Hey, that's really good weight loss. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I guess now you and Trump have one thing in common. Yeah, we got shot at, guys. Anyways, yo, anything crazy been going on in the community or now? Is everything pretty fucking normal? Everything pretty normal? Anything crazy we can talk about? Or can I get straight in the story? Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Donald Trump.
Okay, interesting tidbit in this stream. Didn't really understand or know where he leaned politically after Biden stepped down, but Trump is unequivocal, apparently. Although he could just say that was joking, whatever else. But okay, interesting.
Don't care. ZayZ trailer? Cool.
Don't care about the new Wuthering Waves character. I don't believe that, but okay, let's continue.
Once? Yeah, new ZayZ character? I know, she looks hot as fuck. How old is she?
Okay, interesting.
Before I weigh in, how old is that character?
I don't think it matters. I don't think any of these characters should be considered hot. I think that whole trend is old and needs to be like puffed out.
Pokey ended stream and his life yesterday. Mr. Pokey likes Genshin Impact. That's great, man. That's great.
Look at the condescending
I hope he
nature of
finds
this.
God.
Why? You know, between Genshin, between Wuthering Waves, between Honkai, between Zenless Zone Zero, listen, there's really no difference here. Okay? If you hate one, you gotta hate them all, ultimately. And if a reason why a content creator hates them, is it because they're banned, they're blacklisted? Probably. Because if the money was still rolling in, if the community was still great, and not turning on or against people, probably still playing Genshin just for mindless stupidity, right? Mindless fun, which is what it is. It's mindless in many ways, just like Zenless is mindless, just like Honkai is mindless in many ways. Although Honkai's, I think, is a little bit more strategic because it's But then again, you can overpower everything just like you can in the other games as well. It is mindless for the most part.
He finds God. It is what it is.
This is just a weird jab, you know. You got to find God in order to play Genshin, right? And it's just hate on Mr. Pokey now for doing something that, you know, is still within this gotcha space. It's really petty and really fucking stupid. And it speaks to the whole Atsu thing. It speaks to everything. It speaks to Tectone's character.
It's all good. He did 18 hours League stream yesterday and almost died.
Yeah, Mr. Pokey goes on that grind, though, I will admit. He does get pretty hardcore with it.
Man. Oh, wait. Man.
We're on LaRue's page. Why are we on LaRue's page? That's interesting.
Damn. He was really down in the fucking slums, huh? It really be like that, huh? God damn, bro. Is he okay? Jesus. Is bro good? Bro is not good. Okay, well, I mean, shit, if he has the mental fortitude for it, go for it, man. He uninstalled after.
That's what League does, though. That's what Dota does. That's what these MOBA games do, though. They're very addictive. They have one of the best gameplay loops in any genre, period.
He was trying to hit Emerald. Did he hit Emerald? I'm assuming he didn't hit Emerald. It was dead at night, so less viewers? Sure. He uninstalled, so he'll be better soon. Oh, thank God. All right. So I'm going to attempt to tell this story as lighthearted as possible.
Just so you know, that AGR number is going up as well.
Okay.
I think it's went up like 7, right? Either went up 7 or 107, either one.
I'm really going to try to tell this story as lighthearted and happy as possible.
Okay, so now the story has started. Let's see what this number ticks up to be. It's 4101 right now.
Possible.
All right, let's see. I want to check the numbers here. I want to see how much a sympathetic tone gets Tectone support. Let's see if it has a direct connection. So we have 4101 when he starts talking, and 3,105 Q1 followers. Okay.
There's a reason why I'm putting the Animal Crossing music in here. Things are about to get really depressing really fucking quickly.
I will have to
Okay?
skip
And
through
I
a
mean,
part of this, which is a part where he plays music. But other than that, we're gonna go full in.
really fucking depressing really quickly. Okay. Don't sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, but I'm going to leave names out for like reasons. And yeah, I would prefer no speculation, but
There will be
yeah,
speculation.
I'm
You
going
don't
to try to
get
keep some aspects very vague.
Here's the thing: your medical history is private, Tectone, until you disclose it. Just like your Discord chats are private until you chose to disclose it. Just like everything else, you've chosen to disclose it, and mostly, in my opinion, for sympathy and for some kind of like excuse or gain or what. There's so many reasons why, and none of them, or very few of them, are really wholesome good.
Vague. Yeah, but I feel like, you're in my chat. You deserve to know what's kind of been going on.
They don't deserve to know anything. They should be just watching you for your content, not for your personal life.
And yeah, leave names out. Yeah, absolutely.
This just that parasocial situation continues to exist, and this will heighten it as well.
The chat will speculate anyways. Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
He said, "Yeah, maybe," like a dictator would say. "Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, you think they will? Well, guess what? I'll get them right in line."
We already know who it is. Oh, really? Oh, then who is it? Really? Who almost killed me? If you already know, go ahead. Who killed me? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, you were groomed? Oh, okay. Damn. I didn't know I was a Minecraft streamer. Yo, what up, Kate? Good morning. All right, so let's just talk, guys, huh?
Let's talk.
Let's just talk.
Let's talk.
Let's talk about what's going on here, huh? Is Mr. Beast when I was right that Genshin people came for you? No. No Genshin people, unfortunately. I've dealt with them before much easier. Unfortunately, today was a battle, or the past couple days were a battle with my own mind. Shout outs to my roommates and Sophia for being down here, for kind of making sure that I didn't fucking explode. Greatly appreciate those people. So let's talk real quick, guys. Let's talk. Tectone, I thought you said you were coming back to consistent streaming and consistent
You did. You said that. Let's go.
content creation. What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Tell us.
What happened? You missed 2 days immediately. What the fuck happened? Well, let's take you through a little bit of a story time. So let me tell you about the words anxiety. Yes, that's right. Anxiety put me in the hospital not once, guys, but twice. Not once.
So we've already heard the story about the first time, but we didn't know it was anxiety. And even though I thought it might have been a joke that he left, he admits to it here.
But twice. Oh my God, bro. The things that your human mind can convince you of when in disaster situations. I would let you guys know.
This is true. Anxiety is a battle with your own mind. And a lot of it is out of your control. If you're in a full-blown panic attack, which is what Tectone was in the way he got into it is absolutely the worst way you can possibly experience a panic attack. I've had the same experience as Tectone. I've had it in my life as well. And this is the part where I want to say I am very sympathetic to Tectone, but I am not going to excuse his tactics or his behavior in this case. He didn't have to publicly disclose this. Not to the extent that he did, and not how it's going to go, in my opinion.
Now, and this is very important for you guys to understand. This has nothing to do with streaming or content creation.
I don't believe this entirely. I think it's probably to some extent his therapy. Like he gets a lot of value from this, but I do think this causes him some form of that, and that's why he's basically dialed back some of the other content that he's done because it did provide that stress, and he's trying to change that now,
Or
which is good.
the community or any aspect of social media whatsoever. Okay? I want to make that first and foremost. Streaming and content creation is not the cause of my anxiety whatsoever. These are outside factors in my personal life that I've had to deal with. Stress of moving probably hasn't helped out too much. Yeah, the moving really fucking sucks. I'm not going to lie, moving really fucking blows. It was actually a lot more work than I anticipated. And let's start off with the first major stressor that I had to deal with. So here's what's really fun. So when I first moved into this place, everything was great. Everything was good. And then the first 2 hours started where I had some, Anna was trying to install the AC unit and she broke the little thermostat. And that's okay. That's only a $150 charge, right, to go and fix. So we called some electricians, as you do, and they come over and they just want to check on our heater and our AC just in case. So they go upstairs and they realize that my carbon monoxide expeller was broken. Do you guys know what carbon monoxide is? Do you guys?
Carbon monoxide is a silent killer. It's very serious, and it could render the whole house basically unconscious and eventually die. Yeah, it's bad.
Do you guys know what that is? Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. And the pipe that was supposed to take that shit out of the house was not taking that shit out of the house.
And I think this is something that I wasn't familiar with. I guess the bigger the house, the more people that reside in it. I guess this would happen in a family as well. It's in a night and a bigger family in a very closed, smaller style house as well. I didn't know you needed one of these expellers. I know that's why you have a fan over your stove in some cases, but I didn't really understand this from that perspective. But we all, whenever we breathe out, it's essentially carbon monoxide coming back out. So it is what it is.
House. And you know what that does for my mental? Absolutely obliterates it. As well as every single air filter was over 10 years old, which were not replaced.
Yep.
So
That's pretty bad.
first time I go to the ER because I think I'm experiencing carbon monoxide poisoning and I think that I'm dying. It was a panic attack. We're all good.
And panic attacks do manifest as some physical side effects. Like you can experience actual symptoms that would be related to like a carbon monoxide poisoning or a heart attack or a lot of things, to be honest. So this is totally understandable and relatable. I do not disagree with anything that's being said here. Panic attacks are a tricky thing.
We're all good. We're all good, right? Really thought I was dying, not dying. And here's the best thing. The doctor came up to me like, oh yeah, we should run a couple tests and we should run your diagnostics. We should get your vitals. And I say, how much is this going to cost when the doctor gets in? She shows me a pamphlet for $400, because I'm uninsured, $400 to see this doctor.
Okay, the fact that Tectone is uninsured, being part of 5 businesses, OTK, does actually indicate a lot about the employment practices in that organization, period. And I understand it's a big contentious thing about, universal health care and Affordable Care Act and all this stuff. And in Texas, I think they've pretty much worked around it. I know that they were part of the constitutional fight to appeal it, from what I understand, or strip it away, which they, in essence, did. A lot of the Affordable Care Act was minimized, diluted, and so the fact that he's not even insured, it just indicates a lot. It really does. He made $33,000 in the month of July in Tectone's uninsured. I don't know what that says about the healthcare system. I don't know what that says about priorities. I don't know what is going on. If you have the means to be insured in this country, and you have a generous amount of wealth, you do that because the private insurance in this country, from what I understand, is one of the best. That's why nobody wanted universal health care, because they wanted to be able to go to their local. They don't want universal health care because it's going to bog down the system even more for private health care people. But I think it's still good. If you have a private health care insurance, you can get seen anywhere. You still have to pay. You still have to pay out of pocket in some cases for some procedures and stuff like that. It's overly expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's insane. But you want that shit if you can afford it.
Just to talk to me. And I said, so just to make sure, this charges me nothing before the doctor gets in. She says, yeah. Me and Leroy, we just fucking leave immediately. I'm good.
I mean, that just says a lot. Like, why not pay into the system that you're if you have the means, pay into the fucking system. This is the problem that we face all the time with billionaires not wanting to pay taxes. The trickle-down economics don't work. Like, these greedy bitches, man, they just don't want to help out with anything. It's why people live in Texas. They don't want to help out with anything. They want everything for themselves and give nothing back. That's why I question if they pay their mods. That's why they question if they pay their chefs or their editors or whatever else, because they don't want to pay anything else. So why would they want to pay those as well? How in the fuck is this a good mentality to have? You have a platform that is literally solely based on people supporting you, and you don't support them or support the services that you get provided, and you get a lot of stuff for free, I'm sure, as well.
Hey,
from your platform.
I'm good. We got the fuck out of there immediately. Also, shout out to Laurel. Woke his ass up at 3 a.m. To drive into the hospital. And on that day, I told him, this is never going to happen again. This is never going to happen again, man. I'll never ask you to wake up this early. Okay, you're not going to have to deal with this again. Everything's going to be fine.
And this is his private chef, apparently. So described in his last stream, who he decided, or he asked to live with him, maybe to offset some of the payment that was required, that he was going to have to require to pay Leroux to be able to be his private chef, whatever the case may be, right? I'm hopeful and optimistic that it's a great deal for all of them. But one thing it probably doesn't fucking entail is him being like the personal like chauffeur for someone like Tectone. Now, I understand that they all live in the same house. You know, you got to look for the well-being of your roommates and stuff like that. Fine. You're going to get up and do all that stuff. It's fine. You know, and we'll get to the part where, you know, it happens again. And I'm like, at what point do you like, okay, this is way too fucking much? In the military, I had a roommate that had seizures. And I'll be honest with you, I did that for a month. Thankfully, at the end, the medical waiver went through and he got discharged from the military. But during that time, I was required to look over and oversee this person on a nightly basis. And he had like seizures almost every night. And it was insanely difficult to be able to change my schedule. But I did it, obviously, because it was another, you know, brother in arms, and he hadn't been medically discharged yet, even though he was working on that. And so I know, I understand that. I get that. I understand the need to be able to look over. But at some point, it's so taxing and so, like, stressful that you cannot ask somebody to do that constantly, especially if they're just your roommate, their private chef. There, you know, there has to be that barrier that exists. You know, call them trained medical professionals. If you don't want to do that because you don't want to pay the bill, like, get insured and you wouldn't have to do that. Ambulances are provided in some insurance claims, at least a few a year or whatever it is.
I'm not crazy, I promise. I'm not crazy, I promise. It's fine. Things are good.
I mean, you could be a little crazy. That's possible as well.
Literal 2 days later. Literal 2 days
Same
later.
time, apparently.
I have a member of my family, of which I'm going to leave unnamed. Okay? But I have a family member.
Family is difficult. You can't escape family. Asmongold can't escape his family. Tectone can't escape his family. Plazukas can't escape his family. Chat, you can't escape your family. And so, yeah, there's a lot of this that unfortunately creates stress.
Who will text me one thing one day and then immediately after text me the exact opposite thing.
Is this ominous, what he's about to say? Yeah, it's kind of ominous. I'm not going to lie. He asked not to speculate. So, you know what? I'm going to honor that, and I'm not going to speculate. I'm just going to let this play off. But I will say the way this is conveyed is pretty sus.
And then tell me things that have never happened have happened. And then straight up lie and be so confident in that lie, it makes me rethink my own fucking memory. Thankfully, I have proof of this shit that it didn't happen. But this family member drove me so fucking nuts. I experienced something that I never experienced before in my entire life. I went to bed scared and confused so much that I was questioning my own memory. And I thought that I was in control and I just sleep it out. I wake up 15 minutes later. Heartbeat.
Yeah, and this is the part that I was alluding to earlier. Okay, the worst part of a panic attack is not being able to notice that it's coming on. One that's already in motion, one that's already set, and you can't control it. You can't, like, because there's what, if you live with anxiety and you don't take medication, even if you do, there are things that you learn over the course of your life. You see the signs and you try to make, different things to be able to combat those or to mitigate those. However, and I've been here before, I've woken up like this, and let me tell you, it's the worst. And what he experienced in this particular moment is not a joke, and it is serious. um it is not life threatening from what I understand from an anxiety perspective, but the physical manifestation of symptoms and stuff could be perceived as, yes, you're going to die, because your body is in a full spiral, and it does feel really, really abnormal, and you're not in control. It's really bad. Yeah.
Dizzy. Not
100% dizzy. 100% dizzy. Been here, done that. Called the ambulance. Same thing.
nauseous. I try to think. I can't think thoughts.
Yeah, this is a classic full on panic attack. You weren't able to control any of it, and it just came on. This is probably as bad as it gets. And I will admit, I never want to face or feel this way again. It's really that bad.
The only thing going through my head
Yep.
is this song. I don't know why.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this part, not because of anything, but the song itself probably get copyright. So
Ability to think.
yeah, it messes with everything. It just is a full body takeover, a panic attack like this.
I start acting on instinct. And
Yeah, and this is the part where I think, and I knew this about Tectone before, where I do think legitimately we could benefit each other. because we have similar scenarios, life experiences that I think would um, make us stronger as a friend. And I'm talking genuinely here. I know I am not doing anything to help this relationship, or this is not in good faith. But at the same time, like, this is very important as well. Like, this conversation that we're having is very important for Tectone. And these are the kind of conversations, but they would be even more detailed. They'd be even more specific and personal, not just for, his scenario, but I mean, the back and forth exchange between both of us. So again, please reach out to me
entirely.
or don't. I mean, obviously, you made it very clear. Although you did mention me recently, so who knows?
I fumble down my stairs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's really bad. It's super bad.
My hands are on the walls.
Yeah, they're also clammy. Mine were sweaty. It's super bad.
My hands are on the railing. I'm sweating.
Yeah, you just do. Your body goes into full fight or flight mode.
I vomit in my mouth
Fair. It's
and I
common.
swallow it.
Yep.
Okay? And the only thing I'm thinking is, I need to get to Leroux.
Yep.
I get to Leroux and I say,
I mean, here's the part that I'm going to interject here and say, and I'm going to use a meme that has been used in the past. Don't you have phones? Tectone, don't you have a phone? If you have the ability to get, you can't think, obviously. You're saying you can't think, but you're thinking to go to Leroux. And you're not thinking just call 911, which you could have done. Which does indicate your reliance on someone like Leroux, which means that relationship is a bit toxic from an outside looking in, which I think you will, listen, if it has any similarities to my brother, you will use that relationship to your benefit to the 20th extent. And if he lives with you, I think he owes you too much. And I don't think this is a healthy relationship at all, in my opinion.
I knock on his door and I say, hey, Leroux?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, do you mind, are you sleepy? Are you sleeping?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. You mind coming out of your room real quick?
Mind. This is the second time in 2 days that this has happened, by the way.
He's like, yeah. What's up, man? What's up? He thought we were going to play.
And I have full sympathy over Tectone right now. Like, the panic attack is no joke. But that's what 911 is there for. That's what these things are there for, is to call that. And whether you can call them and talk but it doesn't matter because they're going to respond anyway. And it's fine that he did that as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure the roommate is and I'm not here to criticize. Other than to say, if that's the first thing that goes through Tectone's mind, I just think that dynamic is a little weird. Probably, again, this speaks to everything we're talking about in this context with content creators abusing their power, and then just the whole entire thought process of not paying for bills, not wanting to pay for what services you're provided. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Play Magic. He thought I was waking him up for a game of Magic, by the way. A little bit of lore.
So you do that often? Is that the insinuation? Because that's freaking weird.
I say,
He just exists for your pleasure?
hey, if it's okay with you, I think that I'm dying. Would you mind calling me an ambulance? Yeah, I got you, man. Absolutely. Hey, thank you, Leroux. I really appreciate that. I'm going to go to the kitchen now. He's like, you want me to come with you? Yeah, that'd be great. So then I fumble my way on over to the kitchen, and I down 3 bottles of Arizona green tea and 2 bottles of water as quickly as possible.
I wonder what that thought process was. Like, Arizona green tea is not going to provide you the hydration you want. The water would. I'm assuming the water's pretty small. I don't think you're consuming that much that quickly if it's the tall bottles of any of those products. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Obviously, you can be thirsty in that particular aspect. And once you get to the hospital, you realize they don't give you shit. So if you know that, you're gonna want to take as much as you can, especially if you're feeling dry, and if you have problems to begin with that kind of stuff. I can't really fault someone for trying to like hydrate before they go because not a dumb move because they will prevent you from drinking water and stuff like that for surgery and for other procedures that require you to like not have that in your system to the extent that they can avoid it so that the procedure can go basically without any failure or without too much uncertainty.
And I turned to LaRoe, and LaRoe and I rarely ever hug because we've been best friends for a long time.
Okay.
We're boys, right?
I don't know how this is relevant. Other than to say if that is actually the case, then that makes sense. Like then the whole magic thing, but then again, like how much of it are you gonna like put on your friend constantly? Like, come on. And I know you've already acknowledged that this is not something you're gonna continue to do or whatever else, but at the same time, like you have this problem with anxiety. Um, and I could speculate even more, but I'm not going to because you asked to not speculate, and I won't go to the extent that I think it's too far.
Uh, but I give LaRoe a hug, and I
Yep.
say, hey, man, I want to let you know that I always loved you. You've always been great to me. You never caused me any issues in life. And I want to let you know that if I do die today, I want you to take over my channel. And he said,
They're getting the LGBTQA vibes over here, by the way.
nah, you're going to be all right, man. You're all good. Hey, man, you're all good. I start sending out text messages. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. And so LaRoe steps.
And we're not going to get to that part where he sends out them. That's going to be maybe a second part of this. But just the fact that he potentially did this indicates that there's some stuff out there that probably might be revealing.
Out real quick
I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
while I get my drink.
Was one of them for Atsu? Did he text Atsu
And the paramedics
or Goose
come. And,
or Braxtophone? Hex? Gotcha.
and LaRoe tells them, this is lore you're getting after happening before. LaRoe tells them, hey, so I want you guys to know that my buddy is freaking the fuck out
Yep.
and he thinks he's going to die, but you're not going to be able to tell that he thinks that. You're not going to be able to tell that that's what he's thinking. But I promise you, that's how he's feeling. And LaRoe says, hey, man, people are here for you. You ready to go? And I say, yeah, man, I appreciate it. I give him a hug and I say, hey, for real, LaRoe, thank you for everything. And he says, stop talking like that. You're going to be okay. So I go to the ambulance members and they are saying, hey, sir, are you doing okay? Why are we here today? And I say, yeah, I think I'm good, but I think today's my last day on earth, and I think I should probably be around professionals if I want to prevent that. I'm pretty sure I'm dying. And they say, you sure you don't have a panic attack? And I say, no, I've been having panic attacks for about 10 years now, and yeah, this one feels different. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to just go ahead and get on back in your ambulance, and we can just go on to the hospital. And they say, okay, all right, well, let's you seem fine. And I say, I know, I seem fine. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Sitting in the back of the ambulance, and I shit you not, the way that I start talking is, it was
Okay, so what I want to say is before they even got him into the ambulance, I would be surprised if they didn't take his vitals. They didn't ask him a lot of questions before this. And at that point in time, that's when they evaluated, and they probably saw in his history that he suffers from panic attacks. And they're familiar with panic attacks because whether it's on the rise or it's never been diagnosed previously, I don't know, but there's a lot of people that suffer from anxiety and panic attacks. And it seems expressly like more of an issue recently than in the past. Whether I don't know what the reason is. Like you can speculate as to why, if you want. But it just that's why they asked the question. You seem fine. Like they just thought it was an episode, a panic episode. But you have the right to always go by ambulance if you want to. And a lot of these hospitals are for profit, and they ask you, which is kind of weird. Instead of just taking you now or before, they just ask you. So it's good that you go, though. Obviously, I would have went, and I did go with my anxiety attacks and my full blown panic attack. So I totally understand why Tectone felt the way he did. But at the same time, like medical professional, they can pretty much, not always, and I wouldn't say that that is something that I would just say for advice. It's not. You should always go to the hospital if you feel like you need to go to the hospital. Period.
Eerie. It was
I'm interested in that thought process, the eerie thought process part of it.
eerie because now I'm remembering how I was talking. You have to understand the reason
I wonder if that means he says things that he regrets, put out things that he didn't mean to put out. Who knows, right?
why I took 2 days off was because the way in which I was talking.
Okay, this is very interesting. This part could be. I'm not going to speculate, okay, other than to say that whatever was said might come back and not be good.
Was so harrowing, so ominous that I needed a couple days. And this is going to be a happy story because yesterday was one of my favorite days I've ever had.
Well, I mean, you have a new lease on life right now because you thought you were going to die, which is a thought. But now you know you weren't going to die, and yet your title is going to clickbait everybody, even though you said it wasn't clickbaiting. And that's where I draw the line. Heroin means extremely disturbing or distressing. Grievous, by the way.
As you can probably tell from my burnt skin, you probably
And I saw that when he went live. I'm like, bro, how you going to make a stream about how you're going to die and you didn't have this sunburn before you left streaming? Not that you're not allowed to live your life and have fun and I'm going on vacation. Like, do your thing, bro. Have fun. But why are you going to open with this, I almost died and quit streaming? When it's a couple days after, you knew it was a panic attack. You know, because you've experienced anxiety attacks for, like, you're going to allude to it right now.
know what I did. I set myself on fire. I tried to kill myself.
I mean, just like that is just so morbid and unnecessary.
No, I did some fun stuff. So I get into the back of this ambulance, right? Wait, who's that check mark? Oh, yo, Fa, what up, dog? Hey, appreciate you, bro. Yeah, so I get in the back of this ambulance, and I said, the ambulancee, two beautiful women, by the way, two beautiful women.
That is not relevant.
So that was very comforting.
That was not relevant. I'm sure it's comforting, but not relevant.
That was very, very, very comforting. They were very nice to me. And
they're not the next, gotcha character banner. They're people.
They were
that want to be known as professionals.
Just talking to me about like what's going on, like why am I stressed out? And I just start saying, man, the world was a very cruel place.
This is so weird.
And a single tear goes down my eye. This was very dramatic. Yeah, I want you guys to imagine me saying this with a single tear going down.
This is weird. I don't like it. It's pandering.
My eye. And I said, it's crazy how I can live my life. Obviously, this doesn't imply the internet. This implies my personal friends. And I say, and family. It's crazy how you can live your life being as kind and as caring to every single person around you, and they can still make up a reason to not like you.
Well, you said personal friends as well, which is, I'm not going to speculate, but pretty revealing. And family, yeah, it is very difficult to navigate for anybody, not just you, Tectone. And success would, I think, in a lot of ways, make the matter worse, especially if there was already something or a problem before. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's why a lot of lottery winners that came from nothing and then won millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, a lot of them passed away or had really bad luck after. Family's part of this, man. Family, you can't escape, man. It's ever present.
and to make up a reason why those cherished memories you had didn't exist.
Interesting.
And she says, "Well, it's gonna be okay. If this is an elaborate D's nuts joke, I swear to God, no, it's not an elaborate D's nuts joke. I promise you." And yeah, so I'm sitting there, just saying, I'm really glad I had this life. I had a very good life. You know, I was talking about you guys. I was talking about the eggs, saying I have a very good life. You know, I got to really enjoy it. My content creation was amazing. My viewers, always good to me. I talked about envy a little bit. Told them about the slime. I said, yeah, there are just some people who are just so far gone. Yeah.
And again, in this long train of thought, he couldn't help but literally throw a shade at enviosity. You know, he's already said enough about enviosity. His community's already gone on there and, you know, bagged on enviosity for months, years. And yet he can't help himself right now by talking about enviosity still. And this is the part that I decided to make the video because you know what? At this level, with this kind of title, with this seriousness, I knew that, you know what? Tectone knew that he didn't have to make this title the way it was and make it as serious as it is, or make it as long as it has been, unless, of course, he wanted some form of result, intentionality, malicious, all the other words.
Yeah. I mean, there's people who will get upset at you for trying to help them on the internet.
I don't think that's exactly how a lot of these scenarios go, but okay,
And
because the help that you provide is a bit double-faced and two-sided, Tectone.
they said, okay, well, I'll go ahead and avoid his channel, huh? I said, you do whatever you want, man. They asked for my
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with avoiding your channel? If somebody is avoiding your channel, it's for the right reasons. It's because they don't like your content. They're not sheepish, herdish, cultish people. The people that are in your channel, unless you do change your content, I do not know why are in there unless it's for that reason. Because in my opinion, it does not provide value with anybody besides yourself. Like you're the only one that's gaining value from that perspective.
plug, and I said, I'm probably not going to go live ever again. You don't need it. I did. At this point in my head, I was thinking that the stream that Sophia Lareau and I did was the last stream that I ever did.
Okay. And so this will go on a bench. Essentially, he says, I've had anxiety for 10 years. Like, this is not new to Tectone. He's had anxiety in the past. Okay. He's definitely experienced this. This is not his first time. However, waking up with a panic attack can be very different than your other previous examples of anxiety. So, therefore, I do have sympathy with this particular instance where he woke up and he experienced this really extreme version of an anxiety attack, a panic attack, which then you would think you were going to die. I've been there. I understand that. But we're talking 2 days after the fact. He didn't really need to come on stream and do this. And to be honest, I think it does pander to the audience. I think it is all meant as a way to generate buzz or to create, you know, new subscriptions or whatever else. And just by, you know, I don't know what it's been, 20 minutes, whatever, of the video. It's obviously been longer because of my reaction. But he started off when he started this whole like sympathy tour, 4101. It's now 4113, which is only a gain of 12, but it's not a lot. Then he had followers at 301, 521. He's gained about 24, right? It's not a lot for a channel like him, but at the same time, it's something. And I don't know where it's going to end today. I don't know how many he's going to end up with. I don't know how many he needs or expected or, you know, whatever the case may be. I can't speak to his entire intentionality other than to say he didn't have to make this title. It is clickbait, and it just comes off as just, you know, very very sad. Like it's not necessary to do this. The only reason you want to do this is to pander, is to make your audience connect with you even more. I try to avoid this kind of conversations. Yes, I do use some personal anecdotes to inform the people that watch me, and therefore that does create that connection, unfortunately. So I'm not here suggesting that I'm completely innocent of this or that my hands are not dirty. I've used this as well. I'm hoping to not use it as often, and I'm hoping to use it in the context of examples that I feel like are meaningful. This is not something that I feel like is meaningful. He used enviosity, in the tone and how he's, kind of um, going through this. It just feels in some way constructed to gain sympathy, to gain or to pander, and it's unnecessary. That's just my opinion. I don't know how it ended, and I don't care how it ended. Maybe I'll do a part two if I feel like it's relevant. But I wanted to get this video out now so everybody could understand that even when Tectone says he's changed, he's not really changed. This is still the same millionaire tries to get sympathy from his viewers in a different way. Even though I do agree panic attacks are serious. And I think he did go through one, and um, it's extremely difficult process. However, coming after that, he could make a choice not to disclose all of it in the way that he did, or any of it, because it's medical and you don't have to. My name is Bazookas. If you like this content, like, subscribe. We'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.